Should I file a motion to reopen or reconsider? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration attorney practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. In this video, we're going to talk about what you do when USCIS sends you a denial notice. Now, first thing to keep in mind is that USCIS said in February of 2025 that for many people who are inside the United States without any status who apply for an immigration benefit, if that status is denied, you're going to get referred to the immigration court. So you may not have the options that I'm going to discuss in every single case type. But in most denial notices, you will receive a letter explaining why your case has been denied, and it will invite you to file what's called an I-290B. It's the name of the form, like the I-45. It's called the I-290B, and it's a motion to reopen or reconsider. So this is if you are thinking that there is information that the government should have had or should have considered in denying your case. And so when you receive that denial notice, you need to read through it very carefully. You need to make sure that you actually understand why your case was denied. I was talking to someone on my Immigration Answer show today, and she basically said, I don't know why my case was denied. And she went ahead and refiled without knowing why her case was rejected by USCIS. So you need to understand what was the reason the case got denied. And then you have to ask yourself, well, if there was this new piece of information or this new argument that I wanted to make, maybe I will go ahead and file an I-290B. But in most situations, our advice to the people that come to us is to simply refile. And you probably need to refile as quickly as possible because of what I mentioned earlier, that you might be getting a notice to appear in immigration court. So why do I say that you should refile instead of an I-290B? Well, if you're talking about a green card, then most likely you filing the I-290B will do nothing to put you back into status. If you file an I-130 petition and an I-45 application for adjustment of status, and that case is denied, then the work authorization that you received is over, it's terminated. The advanced parole that you might have received is terminated. You're basically either having to make a decision to start over or to reapply or to file the 290B. And that's what I don't want you to do. In most cases, filing an I-290B is only done when there's a very, very simple, clean issue that can be resolved relatively quickly. But with USCIS now taking forever, the act of refiling, even though it's more expensive than a motion to reopen or reconsider, is probably going to be your best bet because you're going to be able to get back into status. You're going to be able to get a new work card based on the new 485. And so at the end of the day, a motion to reopen or reconsider, that's just the form that you fill out, you pay the fee, and then USCIS can take as long as they want to decide whether or not to reopen or reconsider your case. I haven't seen the stats, but I would imagine that 90% of motions to reopen or reconsider are denied themselves. So you're really not putting yourself in a much better position. Instead, what I would do is I would do a deep dive. Why did this case denied? Was it because we didn't have enough marital evidence? Was it because we screwed up our affidavit of support? Was it because the person who's applying for the benefit wasn't eligible? You know, sometimes the best thing to do is to not reapply. You might just want to back away from USCIS, especially now that we're deep into the Trump administration ×2, and you want to make sure that you're not antagonizing them or reminding them that you're here. So when you get that denial notice, you have to ask yourself, do I want to file a motion to reconsider or reopen? Probably not. It doesn't get me much, and most likely it's going to be easier, cleaner, and stronger to file a better case, maybe do it with a lawyer who knows what they're doing, and to get the benefit that you're trying to get. Getting back on file is a much better way to do that. Hoping and praying that they reconsider and that they change their mind, they're probably not going to change their mind. And then you might just not reapply at all if there's something that's fundamentally wrong with your case. If you're absolutely inadmissible to the United States, you're not going to get a green card, then you would want to simply not refile. So these are all complicated things. It's sort of at a high level of understanding. You probably need to talk to an immigration attorney. So if you want to talk to me for free, you can do that on our Immigration Answer show. So that's a show that I do 3 or 4 times a week. It's a live show, and you can call in. And if you text the word show to 314-470-3300, you'll get a text whenever we're about to go live. If you subscribe to the channel, you'll also get alert when we go live. We also have our TikTok channel at Immigration Hacking. I have a lot of good information on there. We have a Facebook group that's free, and you can join that. That's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there. You can talk to other people going through the immigration process. If you're looking to hire us, then give us a call at 314-961-8200 or email us at info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. Thanks so much. We'd love to work with you, and we'll see you on the next video.